If you're anything like the average GCSE physics students, you get really confused if there's a lot of numbers in a question. This is a question all about calculating the mass of an airplane. It says the speed of airplanes can be measured on a scale called the Mach scale. Mach 1 is 330, that sounds useful. A jet engine will accelerate an airplane to Mach 5.5. Now that's not a speed, but if Mach 1 is 330, Mach 5.5 is just going to be 5.5 times by the 330 meters per second. Now to go to that speed from 5.5 to Mach 25.5, so now we've got another speed down here, that's going to be 25.5 times by 330. It takes a time of 300 seconds. And we've got a resultant force. So in questions like this, sometimes it's helpful to figure out, well, what do I have? What am I trying to find? So let's do these calculations first. So if I times 5.5 by 130, it gives 1815 meters per second. If I do 25.5 times 330, that gives us 8415 meters per second. Okay, so now we've got all these numbers that we need, and we've got to try and find some equations. So we are going to need F equals ma at the end, but before that, we don't know what acceleration is. So we're trying to find this. We don't know what acceleration is either. However, I can use the equation acceleration equals a change in velocity, or v minus u, divided by the time. So let's do that bit first. Change in velocity is this minus this, and we've got to do both of them because it's a change. So 8415 minus 1815 divided by the time taken, which was 300 seconds. If you put those into your calculator, you get 22 meters per second squared. So I've already got a couple of marks already just for doing that first calculation. Next, I'm going to put it into my F equals ma equation from earlier. So I've got the force is 630,000. The mass I don't know, so I'm just going to write an m, and I now know the acceleration is 22. Finding out what m is, I've got to get rid of a times 22, so I divide by 22. So from this side, I'm going to divide by 22 meters per second squared. If I do that in my calculation, I get a nice big number, but it's an airplane, so we shouldn't be too afraid of that here, which is this number here, so 28,636.36. We're only after two significant figures. So two significant figures, what you do is you start counting the first number that's not a zero, so I start counting here, 1, 2, and then I look after it. If the number's 5 or bigger, I've got to round everything else up. So this becomes now 2, 9. Everything else becomes a 0. So 29,000 kilograms.